Hello, welcome to Black Sheep Requiem. I'm Mike. Welcome to my channel. Um, this is going to kind of give you kind of an introduction to me, type of music that we'll be highlighting here on the channel. Extreme music, death metal, black metal, doom, hardcore punk, you know, things of that sort. I'm 51 years of age. Been into this crazy world of extreme music since I was 12 years old. I suppose you're probably all wondering why at this age I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I'm big fans of other people's channels. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. I love seeing a lot of the older stuff that I grew up with. A lot of the newer stuff. I keep up on all the newer albums that come out, the newer bands, lots of different genres. So I keep very active in everything. I buy all the new stuff. Done a lot of stuff over the years. So a little bit of history about myself. Like a lot of kids growing up in the early 80s, like I did. I listened to a lot of Kiss. That was kind of my, I guess you would say, my lead into rock music would be Kiss. Of course, the theatrics, all that. When you're a kid, you just think it's the coolest thing in the world. So that was the thing for me. It all kind of changed in 1981. At the time, one of my dad's friends owned a TV repair shop, and he also sold some new TVs, stereos, stuff like that. And he had a son that was about like 3 or 4 years older than me. And my dad, I kept bugging him to buy me my first stereo, and my dad got me kind of all-in-one tape deck, turntable radio, kind of small console they had back in those days. So he ordered it, but when they got it in, I guess they were just checking to make sure everything was okay. My dad's friend's son put it in the tape, and he never took it out. So when my dad gave me the stereo, there was this tape in there. So I played it, and I was like, holy shit, what is this stuff? I've never heard anything like this before in my life. And what it was this friend's son. He left in Venom's Welcome to Hell. So that was my first introduction to extreme music. I was hooked. I was like, I need more of that. I want to hear more of that. Where'd this come from? So a couple weeks later, my dad went back to see his buddy. I went with him. The son was there. I returned the tape, and I was like, dude, where'd you get this tape? Where's it from? I didn't know anything about it all. I just knew the name of this was Venom, and the name of the album, the songs, and it was a dub tape, so I didn't know anything else. So he kind of wrote down some things for me, where he found stuff, where he could get stuff, and I was off to the races, I guess you could say. So, I kind of started with that. The next year, I really got into a band like Raven. It was huge to me growing up. I still love Raven. Wiped Out album was just, whoa, man, I love that stuff. At the same time, I started getting a lot of hardcore punk stuff, which was kind of odd at the time because a lot of people, you're either a metal kid or you're a punk rock kid, that kind of a thing. But I was never like that. I enjoyed both. I liked both aspects of the music, different extremes for different reasons, that kind of a thing, and it all appealed to me. So that same year in '82, I was getting into like GBH, City Baby, Attacked by Rats, Misfits, Walk Among Us, Discharge, Hear Nothing, See Nothing, what else? Dead Kennedys, plastic surgery disasters, things of that nature. So, I was all over the place, but I just wanted more and more and more of extreme stuff. I forgot to say too, we're listening to the new Furnace album, killer album, Dark Vistas by Furnace. It's on Soul Cellar Records. Check it out. And okay, from there, then as the years kind of progressed in my formative years in music, the next year, like 83, then that was a big year for me. It was Merciful Fate's Melissa came out. I thought, holy shit, the instrumentation, the singer. I mean, I never heard anything like King Diamond before, you know, especially with that type of music. The theatrics, you know, all the occult stuff and all that. As a young kid, it just appealed to me. And then the next big thing, as a lot of you probably, was, you know, Slayer, Show No Mercy. I remember seeing the first promo picture for that, and you know, it was like the altar picture, if I remember right, with them all kind of over blood and the spikes and all that. And I was just like, holy shit, I gotta hear this. And when I got that, I was like, man, this is it. This is it. The stuff is great. So, you know, kind of talking about all this, I was just, you know, I was lucky. My age, I grew up with all the, you know, thrash. I went through all the cycles of extreme music, and I was been along there on the journey, you know, and it was just, it's been an incredible journey for me, and it's something that's always been a staple in my life. And I think that's a big reason why I wanted to start this channel also. So kind of going further on, I was getting into my high school years, 84, of course, Hellhammer, Apocalypse Raids, you know, Bathory, self-titled, Sodom, of course, In the Sign of Evil, Black Flags, My War. I mean, it just kept on progressing and progressing and progressing, and I was just like, man, I mean, I was living it, especially in these years. I started seeking out getting fanzines. I grew up in Iowa. I still live in Iowa. And it was hard to get records and stuff here of this kind of stuff that I was into. So I had to order a lot of stuff, wait, you know, weeks and weeks to get the stuff. There was a few record stores here and there I could get stuff from once in a while. But I guess it made the experience cooler in that too, you know. So kind of around this time, maybe a year later, when, you know, like Celtic Frost in the Megatherion came out, then the big record for me was Possessed, Seven Churches, of course. I think during this time is kind of I started doing some tape trading. You know, of course, the old pen pal things in the fanzines, like a lot of us my age did back then. Started doing that. It was very cool. You get, you know, you'd make your tape for somebody, you'd send it off, wait weeks and weeks, you'd get it in, you couldn't wait, get your 2 tapes that were in your envelope and what they jam-packed in there that you picked off their list. I mean, it was a very neat thing. I tape traded with lots of cool people. One of the persons I traded stuff with was Max from Sepultura. He even sent me original vinyl from Sepultura's albums, like Morbid Visions, things like that at the time. So yeah, I've been lucky over the years to get some very cool stuff and know some pretty cool people. So then kind of moving on, you know, like I said, kind of the Sepultura, Morbid Visions, you know, thing came out. Creator, you know, Pleasure to Kill. Candlemass started, you know. I was just like, oh, that's another different thing, another different kind of vocals, slower, heavy riffs, you know. Just, you know, there was so much stuff I was just like a sponge, just soaking it all in, you know, that kind of a thing. So it was around this time, probably 86, 87, I can't remember for sure, I started my own fanzine called Vicious Attack. So I did that, ran 3 issues of that, did about 200 to 300 issues of each one. I'll highlight that here, maybe on the next video I'll show some stuff out of that so you can kind of see that, but did that. Then, you know, after that, things kind of changed a little bit more in music for me. Death, Scream, Bloody Gore came out. Mayhem's Death Crush that same year. So it was like stuff was getting more and more extreme. And I just loved it. The more extreme, the better. The more extreme, the better. So let's see, then probably another big change for me back then would have been when Morbid Angel came out with Altars of Madness, Atheist Peace Time. A couple years, well, a year after that would have been, Deicide Self-Titled, Blasphemy's Fallen Angel of Doom, Nocturnus the Key, just stuff like that. I mean, there's no use going into a lot of detail. Everybody knows kind of the history. I was just lucky enough to be there in that age to follow along with everything. So that kind of gives you a little bit of how I started, how I fell into the extreme music. Like I said, I still follow everything now. I try to stay up to date with all the new bands, new music, lots of different stuff, black metal, death metal, doom, all that kind of stuff. So I still love a lot of hardcore punk. It's just, there's so much good stuff coming out these days. I mean, back in the day there was a lot of good stuff coming out too, but you had to wait for it and all that. Now with new technology and stuff, you can get stuff like this if you want to get digital copies. I'm a big vinyl collector. I have a lot of CDs too. Part of this channel, I'll be showing a lot of my rare stuff, my collection. I think a lot of people will like that. Going to do a lot of album reviews, old and new. I'm going to try to get into doing a lot of band interviews from people. Collection updates, some live streaming of different things. I like to do some different segments to highlight different maybe fanzines, magazines, just important people in extreme music. So I'm going to have a lot of variety, I think. Try to keep it different all the time, not the same old thing. I appreciate everybody kind of tuning in. Hopefully give me a chance to show you my goods, as per se, I guess. But I think it'll be very cool. I look forward to meeting and, talking to a lot of people. Please comment on the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Kind of see what I have in store and all that. I'm going to try to really do stuff regularly. There's not going to be long lapses. Maybe 1-2 videos a week. That's what I'm aiming for at this time. There's just so much stuff out there. It's hard to keep up, and I think I'm going to have to do a lot of videos. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for everybody pushing me to do this that I know and have said that I should. I appreciate it, and I look forward to next time. Until then, stay extreme.